Imagine Sicily. Wait. Okay. Imagine Sicily swimming into crystalline waters, eating delicious food, visiting the volcano Mount Etna, and of course visiting Palermo and all the other cities. These were exactly my expectations as well, when as a 12-year-old girl I was approaching my family holidays on the island. However, I would have never, ever expected those holidays to become one of the most terrifying experiences of my childhood. So let me tell you what happened. Me and my family, we arrived at the hotel, and at some point, a couple of days later, we are being told that there was not enough water. So water needed to be brought in with a truck because the local reservoirs were dry. And you can imagine my reaction as a 12-year-old girl. I was panicking. I started to look around. I started to see that there was no green grass, no green bush, that the land was so dry that it was cracked. And at that point, I also started to realize water is life, and no hope or future can lie ahead when this resource is fully depleted. And today, we are in 2024, and last summer, Sicily went through a massive drought. So it's so massive that I have some pictures here to show you what really happened. Well, that's the title of my presentation. Well, this is a lake. As you can see, it was in 2024 in the summer. It was not a lake anymore, Lake Rubino, and it was completely dry. And you can also look at pictures of the farmers that didn't have enough water for their animals, so they had to sell the animals, sell the cattle, because they couldn't really feed them. Other examples are cafeterias or hairdressers. All these shops had to temporarily close in some areas because there was not enough water for performing their activities. And while I am certainly aware that the climate change is causing these issues, and it is a big problem in Sicily, I also know that climate change is happening, is having impacts, it's creating problems in every single corner of the globe in different ways. And it is threatening us. It is threatening humanity, it is threatening the plants, the creatures, the animals that live in our ecosystems, but it is threatening also the future of our generations. Okay, be prepared because this start was a bit sad, but I'm not going to bring sadness in this presentation. I actually want to bring some hope. Yes, because if I think about myself, if I think about that 12-year-old girl, I really think I have gained hope and awarenesses that good practices are being implemented all over the world. The problem, however, is that these small practices are implemented in small bubbles, which are scattered in different countries, and I have prepared this. So this is our word, and these are the sustainability bubbles that are really places where good practices, awarenesses, understandings of what sustainability is and how to achieve it are being put into practice. And today, I'm going to walk you into my own bubble of sustainability. You may wonder, what is this place? This place is actually called Campus Friesland. And it is the place, part of the University of Groningen in the Netherlands, where I am studying my undergraduate degree in global responsibility and leadership. So today, what I will do for you is walking you inside the doors of this building, basically, and show you key sustainability lessons that I have learned there as a student. And let me tell you that it's not something that teachers are explicitly telling us to say or to learn in the classes. It's not like that we have lectures on these values. It's more ideas, attitudes, perspective that are part of the environment, that are really being felt when you are inside it. So, without further ado, let's begin with lesson number 1. And lesson number 1 that I learned from this environment, it is all about dialogue and bottom-up approach. You may guess, of course, dialogue is part of every single aspect of human life. What's so special regarding sustainability and this dialogue? Well, let me tell you that sustainability is a very complex problem. And that because it is a complex problem, it involves everyone, it involves different people, and it is important that when we study sustainability, we keep an eye on every perspective involved. And this happens at Campus Friesland, for example, when we have works, projects, lectures that involve not just students and teachers, but also staff members and maybe people from outside the campus, the community. We have projects where we find questions that have maybe not been yet answered, so there is no solution maybe, and we try to contribute to arrive at these solutions. Some examples can be how to tackle climate-related anxiety, or, well, how to explain climate change in children's book, and like how to communicate to children what is happening right now in the world. And I believe, as I said, dialogue and bottom-up approach are key lessons because climate change is a complex problem. A change will not happen if we do not involve everyone in this dialogue and sharing perspectives about it. Well, this was lesson number 1, and I hope you enjoyed it, but let me tell you that there are also 2 more lessons to come. So we go now to lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 is about activism. And that's a very important topic because, once again, a change with the climate will not happen if we do not demand for it. And, well, you may be scared, maybe I was scared when I first heard about activism because my mind immediately went to those images of like violent people protesting against who has different ideas from them. Well, that is not what I would call activism, it's what I would call fanaticism, you know, being violent against who holds a different view from your own. But activism can actually start very simply. It can start when you open your eyes and you look around at reality and you start to read the news, you start to listen to a podcast about what is happening in the world. You can start by like listening, understanding, getting information, and then acting, going and thinking, participating to a peaceful process if you do not agree what local or like maybe regional and maybe state politicians are doing for your country. Activism happens at Campus Friesland in many, many very different ways. So it can happen, for example, when I hear stories, I'm walking in the corridors and I hear stories from my classmates that were just in a peaceful climate-related protest, and I hear their reflections, I hear what they were sharing, the posters, the pictures that they have. It can happen when I find a booklet on how to vote for the European elections and what are the different options of the parties and what are the different consequences of these options. And like I find this in my campus group chat, and it's crazy. I just find this activism. And another example can be when my teachers or like staff members organize movie screenings about current climate-related events or current wars to inform, to share, to spread the word. A change will not happen if we do not demand for it. Lesson number 3 now, be prepared. This is also a very nice and important lesson, I think. So lesson number 3, it is all about having a blend, a mix of dialogue as well as theory, practice and emotion. So let me tell you, of course, we are a university. So we have theoretical components. We have talks, conversations that are theoretical, like lectures, seminars, tutorials, but that's not over. Well, and this is because climate change is not just a complex problem. It is also a multi-layered one. It means that it does not just affect everyone. It affects everyone on multiple levels. So we can have one person that may be affected theoretically because they think about it, they reflect about it, but they can also be affected, well, practically. Because maybe their life is being, like in Sicily, their life is being challenged by climate change. And then we can also have emotional components. You can feel anxious, someone can feel anxious, someone can feel stressed, worried about climate change, and having so many different emotions about it. So what we do at Campus Friesland is really trying to blend these 3 components, to have a coexistence of this. And let me tell you how we do this. So I have been participating, this is like the practical component, I have been participating in very many internships at CHU so far, And like in these internships, I have had the possibility to give impacts, practical outputs in the society, and that relates to sustainability, going beyond the theory. So for example, I have been working with an organization called Spark the Movement. It is a Dutch organization, and it basically works to have students go into companies and work with the company people to create sustainable products. And you may guess it's amazing. Everyone would like to do this project. Everyone would like to go to the schools and be there and design products that are sustainable. Well, let me tell you that not every company and not every school was so motivated and enthusiastic to work with this project. So what we did in the internship was trying to study how to increase motivation for these people to participate. And we found out that when people see the benefits, when schools, teachers, company members, when they see the benefits of these initiatives, like new products are being created, new skills are being learned by the students. When this happens, it's sort of a magic. Everyone starts getting more motivated, more involved. And what we did in the internship was try to have reflection tools and questionnaires that the company and schools can use to reflect, be surprised, and then be more motivated. And this is just one example, I guess, of like the very many different activities that are being conducted at Campus Friesland for what concerns practice. But I told you that there was also emotions, and that's very important because we do not just have moments of theory and also practice, we also have moments of poetry, music, dances, or drawing, every type of self-expression. And in these moments, we really not just learn, but we also reflect on what we feel about the learnings that are being taken in by the students as well as the teachers. Well, these were my 3 lessons for you, but be aware, the most juicy part is coming now. Because what do these lessons mean to you? How you can take them and incorporate them in your daily life? Don't worry, I'm going to explain this for you as well. So I have prepared the 3 key take-home messages that you can maybe have and bring home with you indeed. And well, let's start with message number 1. What you could do with the lessons, what you could do with dialogue and bottom-up approach, what you could do with activism, what you could do with having theory, practice, and emotions. First of all, you could think. And that may sound very basic, but I believe it's so important to reflect. Reflect about what do you know about climate change? What is your starting knowledge about this issue? How do you feel about it? Are you worried? Are you neutral? Like you don't really know how you feel maybe? And lastly, what can you do? What can you do in your job, in your university, in your school to do something more sustainable? Is there some initiatives that are already going on? Is something more that you can do? Well, that connects very well with the second point, act. Acts can happen in very different ways. It can be that you read a book about climate change and then you reach out to the author because you have such a great question for him or her or them, and you want to ask that, and you want to share your reflections and learn more about the climate problem as well. It can happen also that you start journaling, that you start having a climate-related journal and write your emotions on paper, digitally, in every way possible you share it, and you write it down on paper or on your computer. And it can also be, for example, that you go to your principal, very, very creative and innovative, and you say, I have a new idea about recycling waste. And I want to know if I can implement it, because this workplace or this school is not doing it efficiently. And then, well, I come to the most important part. Share. Please share. Share, because in this way, while you will have gained sustainability skills, while you will have gained awarenesses, while you will have gained the knowledge of what should be done and what is right to do for the climate, well, many people maybe don't have this yet. So share, because we already have skills, because we already have understandings, and we only need to apply those more widely, so that our sustainability bubbles could all connect together. Thank you so much.